Can you imagine? Just cheating.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of School Talk Cafe. As usual, I am Sele and I have with me
Amadeayo.
You forgot your name for a second.
I'm just being mischievous.
Nah, don't. We have enough mischief to deal with on this episode. Today's episode is quite an interesting one. And has drama filled, and it's packed up quite some controversy.
Yeah.
Actually, it's outside of our should I say scope?
Is it?
Yeah, because we talk more about primary
and secondary
schools, but this is I think it's something we should point out or speak about, or at least share our own opinion on the gist, after all the school talk.
Yeah.
So anything school, we should talk about it and see whether there are lessons to learn, pitfalls to avoid, and all of that. So I'm sure you're wondering what we're talking about now. We're talking about the trending video of the girl who was doing some recording or taking a selfie. Was it a selfie or a recording?
The girl that was literally trying to beat up her lecturer.
But something led to it now. She was standing in front of the man's door or door to the lecture hall or something. And the man brushes past her and says, "Excuse me," or something like that. And then goes in. And she's upset that he's either spoiled the video or what. I don't get. Was that a push, really?
It's not. In my definition of what a push,
I mean,
can I push you?
He was walking, hurriedly, probably late to the class or something, and this girl is standing right at the doorstep, banging the way, and he just says, "Excuse me," and I guess
his eyes notice that it's a video being done, and apparently he realizes that he must have been in that video.
Yeah, at least in that brief moment that he passed.
Because we watched the video again and we saw him pass. That's how we have evidence of what happened. We saw him pass. And then reading further, I see that he comes back to say, delete that video.
Yeah.
And he has every right to say, delete the video, because
if I don't want to be in your video, you can't force me.
And then what was she doing on her video? She was just, the annoying thing that Gen Z, but not even only Gen Zs do it. Even you see mothers also doing the same thing. They're just, flexing. I'm like, Kilode, what's happening? Do you have epilepsy or what? Anyway, and then he says, delete my video. And then, but before I get to that point, in that video, I see her looking at the person that pushed her, realizing it's a lecturer. And
then I still ask, was it a push?
Okay, because the lecturer that said, "Excuse me," because it's not a push. It's not even a shove.
I would say he brushed past her.
Exactly. Excuse me.
Because he was in a hurry already, and
he didn't have a beef with her.
In the way. He doesn't know her from Adam. So what's the...
Let's even assume he did. Because we hear that her mother is a lecturer in that same...
Doesn't mean he will know the girl.
Let's even assume, for argument's sake, that he knows her. And he says, "Excuse me." Maybe that's even why he even touched to say, "Excuse me." Do you get?
Yeah.
And then I see this child who looks back and sees that it's her lecturer, and then looks at her friends and is like something along the lines of, what's that, or what's this thing? Something very silly and rude. And the guy just comes and says, delete my video. And then the next scene I'm seeing is a child that obviously didn't take home training. Because I want to be fair to the mother. Like in this angle, I want to believe that the mother taught her.
She just refused.
She just refused to collect the training. And she's dragging Mr. Lecturer. Where's that song? Say? She's dragging Mr. Lecturer. She's pulling him. And then people are gathering, and nobody can slap this girl's face. She is where I'm taking my own matter to now.
On a more serious note, I'm always not too quick to give absolute statements because I really don't know the details, the finer details of what exactly transpired. Because what we saw in the video, some things should have happened behind the scenes or in between the scenes that that could be very critical to, you know.
Like what? Please help me. Help me make it make sense.
Did the man say anything?
Aside, excuse me.
Apart from excuse me.
Not that we are aware.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We're not aware.
Okay.
But he could have.
Okay.
And triggered the girl and all of that. Yes, triggered her.
Triggered.
Yes.
Triggered for it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Anybody can be triggered.
Agreed.
But you see,
like I'm triggered right now.
I know. Really, anybody can be triggered. But the thing is this: when something happens like that, you should have enough emotional intelligence to react appropriately. For instance, the corridor or the passageway that you were doing your selfie and video recording, is that what it was meant for?
Well, anything can be done during the
anything can be done.
It's common ground.
Yes, so you should not use your personal agenda
to disturb
everybody else's. Yes, it's a public place. Now, if you were going to shoot any kind of video at all, you should have either cordoned the place with permission and all of that, you know. So it's an elaborate thing. Now, you didn't do any of that. You stand in the way, and the man says, excuse me, and brushes past you. Then, seeing that he's somebody older than you and also your lecturer, there's some level of respect that you must accord to the man or woman. It doesn't have to be, it's not a gender thing. It happens to be a man.
It's a male lecturer.
You know? So there's some level of respect that should be accorded to this person. You didn't accord that respect. You didn't even say, oh, I'm so sorry. But you are actually in the way. You are in the way. Now, that happened. Let's assume the man even said something. Assume, because we don't know.
He was okay. So assuming he was condescending, assuming he was arrogant, assuming he was rash.
Could arrogance have even come in this picture? Because first he says, delete the video after saying excuse me, and then comes back to say, please delete the video. You know, that's not arrogance. That's him establishing his own right.
Exactly. I don't want to be in your
be seen or not in your video. You need to even, I mean, when people are even doing this for commercial purposes, they will say, oh, sign that you consent
for your face to be used,
you know, and all of that. So how much more you just come and these things, I mean, you know how these things go viral. I'm shooting now, I'm posting it, and somebody in the US is calling to say,
what were you
I saw you in that girl's video.
So that's what you're now doing.
So what's going on, you know, and all of that. I don't want to be seen with you in any way, form, or fashion because it might not pay me. You don't know who I am, you don't know where I'm coming from, you know. So he has every right to do that. So I don't think arrogance comes to play here.
Okay.
But when I said he could have triggered her,
I also understand.
He could have used an abusive word.
Okay.
He could have. I'm not saying he did.
No, that's without saying he could have. Yeah.
A lot of things we're going to be talking about on this matter now are pretty much hypothetical.
Yes.
So let's,
because we're not there.
Exactly. So let's agree on that.
Yes.
Now, so if hypothetically he looked at her and said, "Are you stupid or something?
You give me that phone.
We'll delete that video or give me the phone."
And she
or something,
and then he snatches the phone and then she starts dragging with him.
And they both start dragging or something.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is, it still falls on the girl to cool down, seeing that you're the one who started this whole drama in the first place. That's where I'm going actually, to say, okay, let's even assume he triggered her. She should still have said, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and then deleted gracefully, because you don't have a right to keep the man on your phone or his image on your phone. You have no right. So if he's demanding and he abuses you or something, you can even just give him a face or something, or some angry looking, "I'm not happy with the way you talk to me," kind of look, and then,
which we all do,
and then delete the thing, but not now say something back that is rude, and then you to the point where you and the man are now
it's not you and the man now at this point. Okay, at the point where they're struggling about phone and not phone, and he collects her phone and collects her phone. That's, but what I'm not getting is how a university student, and we were told that education
goes beyond the academics.
Yes. School went through you, you did not go to the school, it should go through you. There should be evidence that you are not a gutter snipe, you are not, you are reformed, your mind has been transformed. How does that kind of thing happen on a university campus, where a student, not even a guy to guy, a female student thinks it's normal and it's okay to now start dragging the lecturer like tiger generator?
Okay, so that we don't waste too much time, I'm going to reiterate what you said earlier about school not just being for academics. It's expected that both in your disposition, interaction, moral behavior, appropriate behavior, and in your academics, you are supposed to stand out. That's what tells everybody you went to school. To the end that even when students fight among themselves, you actually stand to face the disciplinary committee, because you're not supposed to fight on campus. I mean, there's a strong rule, against that. Now imagine the people who have been tasked with disseminating knowledge to the student body being dragged in that manner. What's the student affairs department for? I'm sure every university has a dean of student affairs, and you're supposed to table such matters to them. Or if it's within the faculty or within the department, there's an HOD. There's stratified. There's a stratified form of stratified hierarchy. Let me put it that way. She did not explore any of those, and then she knows, because she's not new to the university system. If you say her mom is a lecturer, so she grew up more or less in that system. So
is this C finish?
It's C finish. That's the truth of the matter. So the question now is, what could have led? Don't forget, we're saying a lot of things here is hypothetical, but hypothetical based on stuff that happens that we know on these campuses. So what led to the C finish, or what could have led to the C finish? Because if it's not C finish, I don't think any student will be that bold to just be dragging somebody's shirt and all of that. Now, that C finish that we're talking about, okay, for those who don't understand C finish.
with the spread of what we're doing, we need to begin to explain.
Okay. Do you mind?
I don't know.
Because you're the one who started this.
I don't
A lot of people, I mean, if you're Nigerian, you know what see finish is. Now, how do I put that in English? I'm seeing somebody finish. Contempt, yeah. Contempt, taking
one for
granted. That's another form of see finish.
Familiarity,
over familiarity. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to describe see finish. Over familiarity.
Yeah. See
finish. So please take note. You won't see it in the dictionary. Google probably won't help you. ChatGPT probably won't be able to do anything for you. So take it from us. See finish is over familiarity. Taking one for granted, contempt. Well, I think the best way is over familiarity.
Yeah.
So what led to such over familiarity that you would physically rough handle your lecturer?
And they're shouting, then you are still.
You know.
Is it that mommy brings office matters home and has those conversations, and then you think, okay, because you are eavesdropping on mommy's conversations, you think you understand the dynamics of the office setting, and you think we are now at par with the person, or did the lecturer
make passes at her?
I didn't want to go there.
No, but you see, that's what I'm saying now, that we know that these things happen. We're not saying that it happened in this case.
Yeah, we're not saying that.
And I'm saying that again. We're not saying that that's what happened in this case. We're just asking, interrogating the situation to say what could have led to, and that's why I say a lot of things we're saying today will probably be hypothetical. But then we know that lecturers make passes at students.
Yes.
And this can lead to see finish over familiarity. So,
the lecturer is too calm, because the lecturer showed steeze and composure.
Yes,
there's a definition
of
that.
Emotional intelligence was displayed on the part of the man, because he didn't go physical with her.
He just kept his hands down, and
the much we saw.
Yeah, the much we saw.
He didn't go physical with her. He was actually calm, uncannily calm.
Uncomfortably calm.
No, but if you are a mature person, kind of calmness,
is dangerous.
And it's a female. Civil society teaches you not to start rough handling females, and it's not gentlemanly, and it's very, very inappropriate. And then even if she wasn't female and was male, hitting, I mean, it's beneath you as so the man, he did well.
Yeah, we give him
kudos. He did well. In not responding. It could also be that he knew the camera was on him. You can see students recording and all of that. So, but it's still, that's why I said emotional intelligence, because it meant that he still had presence of mind to say, oh, this is being recorded. I need to, behave and rein in whatever emotions I will meet you in the corner. Meet in one corner somewhere. Yes, and you see, in doing that, he'll be exploring the channels that we're talking about properly, legally, and it will serve as a deterrent. And I hope the school has taken this up.
Last I read, the school says it has been. They've been notified about what happened, and investigations will start, and then obviously
I hope there won't be a cover-up, because it depends on how influential the mom is. If she's really that influential,
it's not been nice.
I see a cover-up happening.
It's not been nice.
Because I'm not new to this thing.
Because it just means that another student will do it. If this child gets away with this, then another student is going to do it. Because we'll just, like we said, action and consequence. But this would just be reinforcing bad behavior.
Yeah.
Because regardless, I don't care. Let me not say I don't care. It really doesn't matter what that lecturer did, in my opinion. It really doesn't matter what that lecturer did. It's not like it's a little child who can't defend herself or anything. It really doesn't matter what that lecturer did at that point. I expected, like you said, for her to have handled it differently, not go the route she went, even if the lecturer had made passes at you before now. So what are you trying to say? You're trying to rubbish him because he made passes at you. How does that justify what you've done? How does that balance out what he did in the secret? Then you now embarrass yourself in the open, thinking it was him you're going to be embarrassing, but you just turned yourself into a spectacle. Second for me is upbringing, because I don't think that a child who knows that the discipline coming from home is going to react that way. How does she go home? Like, when we're in university, there are things that we'll never even try to do in school, or we would hope to God our parents didn't find out.
Back to that. When we were growing up, let's start from there. There were places where they will tell you it's adults that go there. You don't dare go there. There was that healthy respect for, okay, this is
an adult, this is me. Yes.
And till I get to that stage, it's out of bounds. Now, there's almost nothing like that. In fact, it's where the so-called big boys go to that the children want to go, so that they can identify. The lines are being wiped out, every day. And this for me is a reflection of that. Where there are no boundaries anymore. And you see a society that starts running without boundaries. In fact, not just the society, even relationships, father to child, mother to child, pair to pair, sibling to sibling, any kind of relation, boss to employee and all. Once there are no boundaries, chaos happens. Because those boundaries help everybody know that, okay, this is what's expected of you. This is how you're expected to comport yourself in XYZ situation. So when those things are missing, then there's problem. But then here's why we're talking about this today. That girl's behavior didn't start that day. That behavior didn't start that day. It started from some time when she was younger.
Throwing tantrums.
Yes. She throws tantrums, she gets what she wants because she's thrown tantrums and all of that. And a lot of us parents are guilty of this thing. And you see where it will manifest, you really don't know. This one manifested and it's gone viral. And for a long time, she will be remembered as that girl that was, very unruly to a lecturer and all of that, And we don't know what the outcome of the verdict of the disciplinary committee will be. But if they do their job right, she shouldn't go unpunished. She can't go scot-free.
There should be some level of punishment.
Yes, there should.
We're not saying expel, that would be too drastic. But there should be some level of consequence.
But you see, back to what we're saying, it starts from that childhood, primary school, secondary school, and the parents are at the center of this. As much as we would like to say, this, that, it's still, because you see, the formative years, child will go to school but they'll come back home. Child goes to secondary school, still comes back home. And so what happens every time the child comes back home? Who's watching? Who's observing?
Who's getting feedback?
Who's saying, hey, is this child going the right way or the wrong way? Who's excusing bad behavior? Who's rewarding bad behavior? And at times a lot of us parents, we reinforce this bad behavior without even thinking it through. We don't even think it through. We just say, okay, all right, it's a child, and then we just let it go like that. And the next thing, you're giving the child treats and all that. So there's sometimes we even give the child treats so that they are playing with us back. They're fine. They're happy with us again, and they're not frowning or crying around the house or them giving us a cold shoulder and all of that. you know. I remember when we were growing up, after the beating, you say thank you, ma, thank you, sir. You thank your parents for beating you or punishing you, whichever one they chose to, you know. And then you can't just have received punishment and then they will call you and then you'll be giving attitude. That's
even if you want to give the attitude, you will give it codedly.
You even give it in your room.
In your room.
When they call you, you say, you murmured something. Say, no. I heard you say something under your breath again. No, I did not. Because you know what will happen immediately after. And all of that was just to make you realize that you've done something wrong. You should be remorseful. You know? But nowadays, you even have children responding to you like you shouldn't have talked to them the way you did for bad behavior.
You made me upset. I don't like what you did.
You know, I don't like the way you talk to me. Especially when my friends were there, you know, that kind of thing, you know. There's some kind of talking to that you don't do
in front of friends,
friends, or even in front of
self-esteem.
Yes, even in front of siblings.
True.
There's some, and I use that word guardedly. Some, you know, but there are some things that you need to bring out in the open. You don't cover them. You don't, you know, you need to expose some of those things so that when the person knows that this thing can bring shame to me, they will not try it again. You will not try it again, you know. So this is like a call to parents to say, watch your children. Those ones who are in the university now, maybe it's prayer because they've already been formed. I think it's 9 years or so. I'm going to check that and come back and say it again on air.
Whenever you've not taught your child or done by the age of 7.
Oh, 7.
It's 7. When you're by the age of 7.
Shegun just gave me the signal behind the camera.
Are you serious?
Yes, so 7.
Our child.
Thank you, Shegun. Shegun says 7.
7, yeah.
You're sure of that?
Right.
Okay, so he's very sure.
Yes.
So I thought 9, but so
there may be exceptions, but it's
7 is a really short time.
Yeah.
Really short time.
If you've not.
But come on, the disruptor in me is asking, who puts 7 at the age?
Most likely child psychologist, educational psychologist.
I'm actually going to just go and then come back and we'll talk about it again. You know, what age is too late?
So personally, but
is this ever too late?
It's never too late, really. That's like the place of prayer.
Okay, then even beyond prayer, I want to say this too. Even in the physical, and I'm not downplaying prayer.
Of course,
we all pray for our children and all of that. But beyond prayer, you know, because I've seen this thing that, or this trend, where people depend so much on prayer and do nothing. So I'm inclined to quickly chip in just to balance and say, hey, don't go exactly. There's a doing part.
Yes.
Even in the Bible, you are expected to do.
Yeah.
Apart from just praying.
Yeah.
You know, so beyond prayer, you can keep talking.
Oh. We've said that. You must keep talking.
Yeah, we can't say it enough, really. You can keep talking. You can keep exploring ways to get to that child, even after the age of 7. And then I think one of the things prayer will do is to cause a paradigm shift.
Yes. Make the child receptive.
Not even reception of whatever you've been saying. A paradigm shift. What's the paradigm shift? A shift in perspective. That child, or even maybe adolescent or teenager now, can have a shift in perspective. Most times, I think it was Viktor Frankl, or was it in? I read it in Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. But I don't know whether he was talking about Viktor Frankl now, but he was talking about a paradigm shift and saying something drastic has to happen before a paradigm shift happens. You know, And that drastic thing at times could be death, or not death, rather near death experience, or most times, I mean, that I can think of now. I'm sure there are others, but that aha moment, that time that you just look and say, wow, I never saw this in this light before. Prayer can make that happen in the minds of someone, and then continued communication can make that also happen. Because one day, that your repeated communication and talking and appeal and all that would do something in the mind of that child. So never give up. Don't stop talking, because when we say 7, the first thing would be to say, oh, it's late already. My child is 13, my child is 14, 15, and it's so troublesome now. She just, I don't know what to do again. And we have a lot of parents at that point, and you just feel, okay, let me just be managing the child. I think there's more to it than just managing the child, and I want to say, don't give up. There's a lot that can still be done, and that child can still turn out fantastic. I'm telling you, I've seen it before, I've lived it before. I've seen it before, I've lived it before.
We're testimony about that people can change.
Who are you testimonying for? In my own life?
Me, I'm testimony. Me,
okay,
I'm testimony.
because I wanted to say, don't let's go there.
No.
You see, this finished thing is already happening now. Anyways, do you have any words in closing?
I'm good. I'm good.
I think that's all we'll be taking for today on this episode of School Talk Cafe. But please don't forget to like, comment. Those comments, we need them, because that feedback is very, very, very key to what we're doing here on School Talk Cafe. It helps us know that we're doing what we're doing, and human beings are responding to us. It also helps us know what direction, because we might be thinking going this way might be the best, and when we listen to read the comments, rather, we know that we need to just turn right instead. So please help us with your comments. We really, really need to hear from you. So don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Please subscribe. Do you want to give information or share the news rather on our reach?
Okay, so
we have a wider reach now.
Wait. So we have a wider reach now. You can listen to us on Carry Voice Radio, Saturdays, 10:30 a.m. EST, and then 4:30 p.m. here, Nigerian time. You can listen there to 10 million reach. So, the more, the merrier, and we're grateful for that.
Platform. Yeah. So how do they get to Carry Voice Radio?
www.carryvoiceradio.org. There's also an app. You can download it.
Spell or
Carry. You see on the screen.
It will be on the screen. Carry Voice Radio. Because when she says it sounds like Carry Voice Radio. Not Carry, it's Carry as in Caribbean. Carryvoiceradio.com. .org. Anyway, it will be on the screen. So, till we come your way, same time, next episode, it's bye from...